So I follow this account on Twitter called Earth Updates, and their shtick is basically they post photos and videos with captions formatted to look like video game updates. You know, like added seatbelts to some toilets or fixed sky.exe. They've had a few viral tweets and I thought it was a fun bit, but honestly their tweets haven't shown up on my feed in a long time and I kinda forgot about them. That was until recently when I was scrolling and suddenly an Earth Updates post popped up. Earth Updates. Donald Trump. If that triggers you, please consider unfollowing, trying to cleanse my account of low quality, low IQ followers. Accounts like Earth Updates are known as gimmick accounts, and these public meltdowns where they break character and go completely off script happen more often than you'd think. Today let's talk about gimmick accounts, what happens when they go off the rails, and why it happens so often. Before we jump into things, I just want to give a huge thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Gameloft. Carmen Sandiego is back, baby! The Scarlet Vigilante first appeared in the original 1985 Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego mystery edutainment game, and now she's back and better than ever. The game combines puzzle-solving detective gameplay with world-class gadgets, thrilling puzzles, strategic gameplay, and educational exploration. This new 3D world brings Carmen Sandiego to life like never before, blending nostalgia with gorgeous new graphics and fresh gameplay. And for the first time in the history of the franchise, you can actually play as Carmen Sandiego herself. Dive headfirst into her world of espionage, experiencing her escapades firsthand as you outwit vile operatives. Travel the world and solve mysteries in places like Cairo, Tokyo, Berlin, and more. From gathering clues to tailing suspects, Carmen will stop at nothing to get to the bottom of things. And while there are tons of fun Easter eggs for OG Carmen Sandiego fans, new fans will love diving into the fun and mysterious story. Rediscover the thrill of solving mysteries with Carmen Sandiego. The game is available on console and PC starting March 4th, 2025. Click my link in the description or scan the QR code to dive in. Once again, the link is in the description, or you can scan the QR code on screen. A huge thank you to Gameloft for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into things. For those who are unfamiliar with the term gimmick account, it describes a social media account which is used to play a character or make posts using some sort of unique gimmick. There are accounts that post creepy or interesting facts, like oddly horrifying and educational feed, accounts that post humorous images and videos, like no context humans, non-aesthetic things, and posts of cats, accounts that pretend to be characters or parody real people, like posts of Satan, Rainbow Fish, and Slenderman, accounts that repost the same image every day or month, like it's the first of the month and ladies and gentlemen, it's the weekend, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
The weekend.
Gimmick accounts can be found on every platform, from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram and Tumblr, and there's a high likelihood that you yourself may be following a few. If you like certain posts like cat pictures or sped up gifs or updates on whether specific celebrities are still alive, they're an easy way to get a direct stream of that content, so they tend to be extremely popular. They also have the tendency to go completely off the rails. Earth Updates was one such popular gimmick account. Like I said in the beginning, it was a fun bit, silly images with captions that make it seem like the Earth is a game that's constantly getting patched and updated. I followed the account a few years ago, but then kind of forgot about it because their posts stopped showing up in my feed. And honestly, if they had been showing up, I probably would have unfollowed a lot sooner because their posts have become kinda Facebook humory, but a lot of people still enjoyed it, and even their most 2018 iFunny posts would get at least a few thousand likes. In late 2024, the account started retweeting posts related to crypto in between their usual Earth updates. One of the earliest instances came in October of 2024 when the account retweeted this photo of an aardvark with the caption, "Buffed the aardvark by 12%. Now this didn't seem too out of the ordinary for an Earth Updates post, aside from the fact that it was a retweet when usually they would post their own images, but upon closer inspection, the original post was referring to Aardvark Coin, a cryptocurrency and hideously ugly NFT collection. A month later, Earth Updates retweeted a post from the official Aardvark Coin account, and a few days later retweeted a post from a user called Crypto Jake. In December, the account posted a screenshot of DMs between themselves and an OnlyFans model requesting promotion with the caption, "Hey ex-gimmick accounts, here's that dirty ass e-ho that made 43 million off your back. Any gimmick account that promoted this shit should be shamed to deactivation." Most of the comments simply expressed confusion over what this even was, and I'm sure at this point many people were wondering why these strange and unrelated posts were popping up in their feed. But things were about to get a whole lot worse. Earth Update. America, it's time. Donald Trump is now your president. Donald Trump. If that triggers you, please consider unfollowing. Trying to cleanse my account of low quality, low IQ followers. Thanks. In response to comments speculating that the account had been sold or taken over by bots, they replied, quote, "Nah, this account wasn't sold. Same owner this whole time. Sorry if that makes you more angry. Just not afraid to say it with my chest anymore." America is back. I love reading these Cope comments. I have the biggest smile on my face. Cope, cry and seethe. Trump 2025. Love the devs. The account quickly began to lose followers, and as the numbers dropped, the account continued to basically freak out and have a meltdown. So far we lost 6,000 followers and we couldn't be happier. The great cleanse. Keep on following. Bye bye. To everyone else, resuming normal tweets. Love you all. Didn't even announce support. We support BTW. Crying face emoji. We lost 20,000 followers. This should be all you need to know about the level of brainwash these people have been put through. Mission success. The account then began shilling their custom-made Earth Updates meme coin, as well as incorporating their cryptocurrency into regular Earth Updates posts. The reaction to this temper tantrum was one of surprise and dismay from the followers who had enjoyed the account's content for so long. Bro definitely got hacked. Why is it so hard for Gimmick accounts to just stick to their gimmick? I used to think you were cool. 100% sure the original owners of the account sold the account. Damn, this account fell off. What a loser. Look at the kind of post they used to make before. Obviously they sold the account. There are a lot of accusations that the original owner of Earth Updates sold the account because their older posts show open support of the LGBTQ community and anti-racism, which seems to fly in the face of their recent posts for obvious reasons. But is it true? Well, Earth Updates has vehemently denied this claim, explaining in a post that they had been running the account since 2019 and had barely earned any money from it while losing motivation to keep posting. And while personally I'm not 100% convinced that the account was sold, I understand why so many people think it was, which is why they just eventually came out with the truth about how they felt. Shortly after they began posting about Trump and crypto, they retweeted posts from 4 other Gimmick accounts. Posts of Santa, posts of Grinch, posts of God, and posts of Satan. All 4 have AI generated profiles and banners, have almost identical bios, and post lukewarm reheated 2018 memes. Could the accounts, including Earth Updates, all be connected? As we'll discuss later in the video, large networks of content farming Gimmick accounts run by 1 or 2 people are pretty common, so it's not out of the question. It could also just be that the Gimmick accounts are reaching out to Earth Updates and paying them for retweets. Either way, the account's activity is bizarre to say the least, and it's far from the only one. Santa Decides was an iconic and beloved Gimmick account that posed as Santa and would decide whether internet figures and characters were on the naughty or nice list and what presents they received that year. Shrek is on the nice list. I gave Dr. Doofenshmirtz a new lab coat. Bingo is on the nice list. Ellen is on the naughty list. I gave Normal coal. You get the idea. It was basically just farming likes from various different fandoms on Twitter, with the occasional relevant post about real-world celebrities to appeal to a more general audience. And it was super successful, racking up over 400,000 followers over the course of several years. That was until July 2021, when the account tweeted, "Trans people are on the naughty list." This came as a shock to the followers of the account, who regularly saw Santa Decides openly posting in support of the LGBTQ community. In response to a transphobic tweet, the account replied, "I am literally based off of Christianity, and I say trans rights are human rights. Checkmate." Another tweet from 2021 read, "Just had a follower think I was going to hate them because they came out as trans. Not naming names, and I really hope none of you guys are ever afraid of this. I will always accept you as you are." Later that same day, Santa Decides went private and tweeted, "I apologize, and I will make a tweet explaining everything in 6 hours." Once the account was made public again, they tweeted that the whole thing had been a prank/experiment to see if Santa Decides could get on the top trending tags, which it did. They received a lot of backlash for the stunt, which many people found offensive. After all, there wasn't really any clever joke or punchline to this supposed prank. It was basically just like, what'll happen if I post hate content? Will I get a lot of attention? And yeah, they did. Not good attention, obviously, but you know, some people are of the belief that any attention is good attention. This event seemed to mark the beginning of the account's slow transformation from wholesome Gimmick account to right-wing grifter. I went through the entire Santa Decides Twitter to figure out when the account switched from Santa posting to the lame garbage that they post today, but whoever runs the account tweets like 10 times a day, so eventually Twitter wouldn't even let me keep scrolling down. It was truly insufferable miserable scrolling through this dude's timeline to find when the shift happened, and then I couldn't even find it, so, you know, it was basically all for nothing. It's all good, I'm fine. But while I can't pinpoint exactly when this change occurred, the account did change a lot. They went from making silly cartoon character Christmas lists to posting about politics, specifically their love of Donald Trump and affinity for guns, among other several controversial and offensive posts. This is now officially your president. Screaming and crying does not change this. The ice list is on the nice list, crying emoji. JK Rowling is on the nice list. No, your child does not need puberty blockers. Shortly followed by the extremely embarrassing tweet. Recently, companies have been messaging me saying, if you get me to blank followers, we'll send you this free firearm. If this happens again, just follow. Don't question it. Santa likes free pew-pews, crying emoji. Yes, that's right. The account, still role-playing as Santa, began begging his followers to like and interact with random accounts so that he could get free guns. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. Oh no, this is a regular grift on the Santa Decides account. I won't say who, but one of the best rifle manufacturers said they'll partner with me if my X videos perform well enough. I am counting on you, elves. To all the people who interact with my posts, you got me $284 worth of ammo. Thank you. I've dreamt of making firearm content for many years. Thanks to you folk, I've been able to. It's been a slow but steady progression, and it's thanks to you all Santa's dreams is slowly being accomplished. There's plenty more here, from this boomer ass anti-woke post about people with colored hair to this anti-DEI post to just straight up transphobia. Unsurprisingly, they've also gotten pretty into cryptocurrency, which is a recurring theme with a lot of these gimmick accounts. Hilariously, the owner of the account used to run an Elmo parody account, and a few people have claimed that they knew him back in those days and that he was far from the gun-loving Trump fan that we see today. But of course, these are just random claims with no source to back them up, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. This crash out baffles me even more than the Earth updates one, because the pivot from wholesome Santa LARPer to Trump-obsessed gun nut was so unexpected. How do you go from, I gave Michael Afton lots of popcorn, I gave every Minecraft dog a bone this year, I gave Enid Wednesday, what do you think I gave Luz, to why use gun oil when liberal tears exist, and Mexico is like a parent that puts their baby on our doorstep then runs away, we don't want them either. Ugh. After all of this, many people gravitated away from the account. Despite the fact that it still has over 400,000 followers, their posts now only get a few hundred likes and barely any replies. Shortly after all of this went down, a new Santa Decides account was established, unaffiliated with the original, for people who still wanted Santa Decides content without all of the politics. All of this is to say it was really funny when that new account saw my tweet asking for iconic gimmick accounts that crashed out and replied, I know a guy. Honestly, to me, there's something really sad about the story of Santa Decides. Going back and seeing his tweets from a few years ago showing support for his trans followers, and even posting a picture of his friend who came out as trans in order to show her love and support, and now seeing him retweet articles about companies removing tampons from men's bathrooms with "this is a good start" and claiming that being trans is a mental illness is just genuinely sad. Having a large following, even as a silly Santa gimmick account, you have the ability to make someone's day, to make someone out there feel less alone and more supported. You have the ability to show support and love and acceptance towards these marginalized communities. And it's kinda hard to stomach that someone who once showed love and appreciation towards these communities then decided to use their platform to spew hate and alienate the very audience that gave him the platform in the first place. It's a real shame and genuinely kinda depressing, so let's move on to a crash out that I think is more funny than sad. So if you regularly use Twitter, firstly, you're a masochist, and secondly, you've probably seen ads for steak. You're scrolling on Twitter, you see a video or meme that's kind of funny, you go to hit like, and then right in the corner there's a tiny little logo for a company called Stake, which just so happens to be an online casino and gambling site. Stake has been running a huge advertising campaign on social media, paying gimmick accounts with large followings to put Stake logos on their shitty stolen memes. Naturally, users quickly got sick of seeing gambling advertisements on every second post on their feed, so when the gimmick account at @fuckstake began posting those very same memes without the Stake watermark, people flocked to it. By following the account, people were getting the same images and memes that they found funny, and they were supporting an account that was actively screwing over Stake by taking their ads and removing the logos. It seemed like a win-win situation, but was it? Users became suspicious after another steak ad removal account at Unsponsorships posted about being blocked by several large Gimmick accounts that were posting steak ads. F-Steak, on the other hand, not only wasn't blocked, but was actively following those same accounts. It didn't make any sense if these Gimmick accounts sponsored by Steak were blocking all of the accounts that were taking their ads and posting them without the watermark. Why hadn't they blocked the largest and most prolific one? An account called The Worst of Twitter, which ironically in and of itself is a Gimmick account, did some digging and discovered that the Discord in F-Steak's bio led to a server that several of these Steak partners were in, including one user called Harkits who had a list of all of the Gimmick accounts they owned in their Discord bio. And lo and behold, not only did he own F-Steak, but he owned several other huge accounts including Liminal Spaces, Pics That Go Hard, LMFAOs, and Good Reddit, many of which were actively partnered with and posting Steak ads. The thick plottins. But why? Why run an account that actively goes out of its way to make Steak, the company that's sponsoring your other accounts, look bad and get less clicks? Well, not to give too much credit to these gimmicky grifters, but it's actually kinda smart. If Steak would retweet accounts posting Steak ads in order to dunk on them with the secret ulterior motive of getting those ads seen by a wider audience. Can't advertise to the thousands of people that have Steak sponsored accounts blocked. Get them to follow a fake anti-Steak account which then retweets Steak ads to dunk on them, therefore forcing them to see the ad. Here's an example of Harkits using F-Steak to retweet one of his other Steak sponsored accounts with an unwatermarked image and conveniently forgetting to add said image. The two accounts, which again are run by the same guy, proceed to get in fake beef with each other, getting thousands of likes in the process. Harkits ended up doing a quote-unquote reveal post that he owned the accounts that were partnered with Steak to try and own the fact that he had been outed. Presumably he was planning a big rebrand when none other than Elon Musk made a tweet warning that buying large follow accounts and using them to push advertisements and scams would result in a ban. And which image did he use to illustrate this point? The completely uncensored screenshot of Harkits' Discord and all of the Gimmick accounts that he owned. Despite Harkits' bold confidence that he wouldn't get caught or suffer any consequences as shown in these screenshots and the fact that he allegedly bragged about how much he earned from Steak ads, all of his accounts were immediately terminated and F-Steak's scam empire was brought down in one fell swoop. That's some good schadenfreude. We Rate Dogs is a popular Gimmick account with over 9 million followers on Twitter, 4 million on Instagram, and even their own official merch store. The account takes user-submitted photos of dogs and rates them with cute and wholesome captions, always making sure to give them a 10 or higher. But the account was accused of being anything but wholesome when it was revealed that the owner would regularly take user-submitted dog names and change the names in order to make them more catchy and boost virality. The most notable instance of this came when a user submitted their Rottweiler puppy, Kanan, whose Arabic originating name was changed to George. Twitter user Mary Wagner replied to the tweet asking what the dog's real name was, to which We Rate Dogs replied, "Whatever he wants it to be," before quickly blocking her. Mary Wagner made a tweet about this interaction which got over 30,000 likes and led to site-wide condemnation of the viral dog account, and We Rate Dogs tweeting out, "The name plays a massive role in how well the post does," certainly didn't help the situation. Thank you at Dog Rates for accidentally discovering the systemic and quantifiable impacts of casual racism and deciding to participate in it instead of push back against it. LOL, this is so cynical and gross. Of course the Dog Rates account is like this. We regret to inform you that the milkshake dog is racist. Of course plenty of fans pushed back, claiming that these accusations of racism were overblown and people were simply making drama from nothing. Whatever side you fall on, it's undeniable that the whole debacle illustrated an uncomfortable truth about many online platforms, that whitewashing posts by avoiding names of ethnic origin can often lead to more engagement. I don't think that any of this was done intentionally. In fact, after crashing out and tweeting in all caps, "I won't change any more of the dog names, holy fuck," the owner of We Rate Dogs calmed down and made a more measured response, writing that any sort of quote-unquote whitewashing was never his intention and that it wouldn't happen again. For what it's worth, Kanan's original owner spoke out in defense of We Rate Dogs. They said that they gave the account permission to change the name, and if anything they seemed more upset that the dog's post had been removed, so you know, everyone had a different perspective. I just think that a wholesome uwu lead doggo account inadvertently inadvertently enforcing casual racism with their dog posts is something that you'd only find on Twitter. Liza Minelli Outlives is an absolute roller coaster of a Gimmick account. The account posts various things that American actress and singer Liza Minelli has outlived, formatted as news updates. A few recent sample tweets include, Liza Minelli has outlived Austin Butler and Kaya Gerber's relationship. Liza Minelli has outlived Party City. The balloon is popped for the country's largest party supply chain and all of its locations will close. Liza Minelli has outlived Bashar al-Assad's brutal regime. The Syrian dictator has fled. Hilariously followed by, Liza Minelli has outlived the Eras tour, which concludes today in Vancouver. The account is infamous for being incredibly quick to post breaking celebrity, pop culture, and political news, with Twitter users often remarking on how they found out about important news events through Liza Minelli Outlives. The Daily Beast wrote on the topic, quote, "The fastest cowboy in social media newsland isn't the New York Times or even the Associated Press. It's none other than at Liza Minelli Outlives on Twitter. When I awoke on this fine Tuesday, the first thing I did was check the Liza Outlives account. Sure enough, they broke the news of Kamala Harris's vice president pick even before Popgrave. In that same article, when asked how on earth they post news so quickly, the owner of Liza Minelli Outlives wrote that he is obsessive about gathering news sources and being the first one to post them, even recounting a recent vacation that he came home early from due to his anxiety about not being able to post the VP pick first. An obsessive Liza Minelli stan using their fan account as a legitimate news source is already bonkers, but that's not even when the controversy comes in. In an interview with The New Yorker, it was revealed that the owner of Liza Minelli Outlives was a lifelong Liza Minelli superfan who had allegedly worked as Liza's press representative for over a decade. He told The New Yorker that even now he can't resist doing publicity for her and that he would always consider it his duty to, quote, look out for her. However, when asked if she was aware of the account, Liza Minelli responded, quote, "I do not support Liza Minelli Outlives, nor its creator, because it is predicated on the idea that I should not be alive, which I find hurtful and offensive." This was all the way back in 2021, and to this day the account is still going strong, with its owner claiming that Liza Minelli has simply understood what the account is meant to be. And yeah, I'm with Liza on that one. I can't imagine it feels particularly great to have a super popular account that's basically dedicated to reminding people of your mortality and eventual impending death. It's also pretty insensitive, I think, to post about the real deaths of celebrities and public figures by cheerfully celebrating that Liza Minelli has outlived them. You know, maybe it would be different if I was in the Liza Minelli fandom. Twitter quickly turned on the Gimmick account once it was revealed that they were going against Liza Minelli's wishes by continuing to post, and since this reveal, the account has gotten into all kinds of drama. They were nearly bullied off the site after writing a snarky tweet about Liza Minelli outliving Chappell Roan's career, criticizing her quote-unquote abrasive remarks. A similar mass unfollowing occurred when they tweeted that they stand with Israel before locking the comments and hiding all of the replies. I've also seen a few accusations online that the owner of the account lied about being her publicist, but I haven't found any sources or evidence for this, so right now I think it's just a rumor. Either way, it's pretty crazy being known as both the most devoted Liza Minelli fan and the most hated Liza Minelli fan, especially by the woman herself. The accounts that we've covered in this video are really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Gimmick accounts that break character, go off the rails, and say and do bizarre things. And it begs the question, why does this happen so often? Well, here's my hypothesis. Gimmick accounts usually start with humble beginnings and high hopes. They're passionate, at least to some degree, about what they're posting, and it's exciting amassing a following and getting attention. They may even get a few bucks if they monetize their account. But the bit soon becomes old. Posting becomes a chore, and since Twitter pays pennies and other social media platforms pay even less, it quickly becomes not worth the time investment that they're putting into it. And this is when accounts get sold. If you've ever seen a popular account suddenly pivot away from kitschy Gimmick memes to gambling ads, crypto scams, and often weirdly right-wing content, that account has usually been sold. It's common for one or two people to run large networks of popular Gimmick accounts, taking sponsorships from shady companies like Stake and then farming engagement by reposting stale memes and hashtag relatable content. If Gimmick accounts can't find ways to sustainably monetize their content, like We Rate Dogs with their merch, the plethora of popular accounts that advertise Temu vibrators and sunset lamps and gambling sites and Santa decides, you know, just kind of begging companies to send him free guns, then they die out. The only exception are diehard accounts like Liza Minelli Outlives, who are just doing it for the love of the game, and I think that's because sometimes they have some stuff going on. And I'm not saying that all Gimmick accounts are like this. There are plenty of accounts that log on, do their gimmick, and then eventually fade into obscurity when the owner gets bored. But there are way too many that decide to go out with a bang, and by bang I mean weird shift into right-wing politics or absolutely massive meltdown that alienates all of their followers. Or, you know, they can just start sending unsolicited Simpsons porn to their fans like the Muppet History account on Twitter did. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoyed that video topic. Twitter situations and drama are always just fun to talk about, and gimmick accounts is such a ubiquitous thing, and they also tend to be ubiquitously annoying. Like I said, obviously not all of them, but it is a weird trend, like to the point where it's basically an internet in-joke that gimmick accounts like never stick to their gimmick, so it was fun to talk about. There are so many more examples, so you know, if you guys enjoy this one, maybe I could make a sequel with some more examples. Please drop them below. And yeah, let me know your other thoughts. Have you ever run a gimmick account? I feel like so many of us, like as kids, maybe tried to run like a meme page or a fan page or something like that. But yeah, I'd be so curious to know, have you guys ever run one? Have you guys ever sold one? Have you guys ever followed one that absolutely crashed out and had a massive meltdown? I would love to know. I just think it's such a fun topic, and as always, I love reading your comments, so yeah, let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know below if you have any other video topics that you want me to cover, and yeah, thank you so much for watching as usual, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye! A huge thank you to my Garfield overlords over on Patreon: Sheriff Whiskey, Xavier Araujo, Woljix, Trouser Mouse, Tony Terras, Usurpius, Eminem, Bunzo, Sophie Jane Dewberry, Simon, Katrina Likes 5e Stuff, Dr. Worm, Say Marie Brayley, Stanley, Dozo Blint, Hazy, Zoe Mars, Matt LRJ, Michelle Olsen, Kia J. Parker, A Riddle Wrapped in Enigma Hidden by a Question Mark, Skisa, Astrium Vortex, Tonla, Jar the Bar, Vivian Valencia, Jet Secret, Helm Hamburger Hand, Leopold the Rabbit, Ocean Gremlin, Dana Homegardener, Jesse Chisholm, Blue Mayfeld, Price from Traveling Tavern, Meridia, and Doug. Thank you guys so much for the support, it means the world. If you want to join these guys over on Patreon, the link will be in the description, and yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye!